Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest ARCFEST. My name is Professor Mark Gabbay, and I'm the Director of the ARC Northwest Coast. Regular attendees of these ARCFests will know that already, but we always have new public advisors, reps from our members and other stakeholders joining us at different ARCFests throughout the year to feed into our portfolio work, so a big welcome to you all. So the first big announcement I want to make is that some of you will know that we had a conditions attached to our ARC, and we have presented our review of our progress so far, and I'm very pleased to say that as a result of that, we've now had our funding guaranteed through to the end of 2024. We will get some final feedback from our submission next month, but I'm not expecting any major issues from that. So good news all round, and the ARC is good to go until the end of September 2024. I'd like to start with some housekeeping rules for us all to ensure that things run smoothly as we proceed throughout the day. This meeting is being recorded, and attendees and speakers may appear on the screen during sessions. However, if you still feel uncomfortable about that, you can turn your video off, although we would encourage you to all keep your camera on because this helps the sessions feel inclusive, especially during theme discussions so that you can see each other. Can I ask, however, everyone to stay on mute to avoid any disruption, unless of course you're speaking? And can I also encourage you to use the chat function for questions and answers during these, both when we're all together and for the individual theme sessions later. If your comment isn't answered for any reason today, we will take the details and one of the team will get back to you as soon as we find an answer for you. As people are talking throughout the day, sometimes ARC staff will be adding links to websites or documents to complement what's being discussed. Rather than go to them then and there and come out of the system, I suggest you copy and paste them to look at them afterwards. If you miss any, please use the email address to contact us and we will send it you again. You shouldn't have to move away from the Feedloop platform in any way during this ARCFest. Please remain in this current platform and email the help desk with any technical queries. If you need any technical support during the day, one of my colleagues will post an email in the chat to you now with a phone number, and keep this handy for the day in case you have any problems. A couple of important updates I wanted to provide you with before we start. We've been finalising our annual report in the past couple of weeks for our activity from last April until the end of March 21, and that's now been sent to our host organisation, NHS Liverpool CCG, for approval, and indeed it's now been signed, and it will be returned within its deadline to the National Institute for Health Research, who fund us at the ARC Northwest Coast. The NHR have also published this month a new strategy for its infrastructure, which we are part of, called Research for Best Health, the Next Chapter. This represents an update to the Best Research for Best Health strategy that underpinned the establishment of the NHR 2006. This publication sets out the NHR's operational priorities from now and into the future. It reaffirms its core work streams and how it is constantly innovating to deliver against these, and also identifies 7 areas of strategic focus. These are areas where NHR believes it should work with urgency and in fundamentally different ways to address the changing needs of people and communities as we pass further into the 21st century. You will see them appear in the chat board on the right as I speak now. You can see that the 7 areas of strategic focus include build on learnings from the research response to COVID-19 and support the recovery of health and social care systems, build capacity and capability in preventative public health and social care research, and improve the lives of people with multiple long-term conditions through research. I am pleased to say, as Director of the ARC Northwest Coast, that I think we're already ahead of the game and have been embedding some of these focus areas in our work already, which we will continue to do, and this will help ensure we're aligned with these areas moving forward with our new projects. In general, our focus is now rebalancing our research portfolio with non-COVID-19 work, a selection of which you will hear in our theme meetings today. The ARC is complex, and it's easy to forget the importance of keeping a bird's eye view of our work, just to understand the depth and breadth of the research and the collaboration that has been delivered across the region. If you get a chance and haven't done so already, do look at the rotating graphics on the home page summarising our achievements. Sometimes we forget what all of us as a collaboration have achieved to date, and it's important to remind ourselves of that. We're ramping up the implementation of our health equity mainstreaming strategy for 2020 to 2024, which ensures that all we do is underpinned by our commitment to reducing health inequalities and, as a result, improving people's health and well-being, particularly those most vulnerable communities in our society and those communities with the most pressing needs. I would ask you to look out for an update on this important piece of work in the Midas session, presented as part of our cross-cutting theme updates after lunch. Some highlights of our work that I would like to flag up since we last met at our ARCFEST in April include Dementia Action Week and disseminating our research in this area. Thank you to all of the public advisors, carers, members and staff who helped with this and offered a real insight into the scope of our published research and impact that we're having. For anyone who missed it, we will put a link in the chat to some of the multimedia resources we made for that week. It's important to see that our publications are nearly now 110 since we started the ARC Northwest Coast, which is quite an achievement, and well done to all of you who've played your part in reaching this outstanding milestone. Publishing our research is a metric we are judged on, not just in numbers, but also to demonstrate the collaboration that the authors that we use together to write these papers show our scope of our work and how they should always be underpinned, wherever possible, with implementation of our findings being a feasible option. That's why when you look at our papers, you'll see it's not just academics writing those papers. We have members of the public and we have professionals from our member organisations. I also want to thank all of you who attended the second Seldom Heard Forum held early this month. Over 50 people attended, and we heard young people present their own stories and the challenges that they face, which really put the issues being discussed into context. We're planning our next forum, and they've been a great way to ensure that we're engaging with the harder to reach communities and those people in our population who are seldom heard in forums such as this. We've also been recruiting data science internships, which are an opportunity for staff from ARC member organisations to develop skills and knowledge in analysing and interpreting data. We've also appointed some of our member co-leads to join our advisor co-leads, and some of you are in the meeting today, so welcome. And if you attend the theme meetings, you'll meet these colleagues and hear what they have to say about themselves and their work. And it's great to celebrate the contribution that both the public and our professionals make to our work in this way, and to demonstrate that we mean it when we talk about co-production and their leadership in our work. Our work on national priorities, which all ARCs are collaborating on, continues apace. We're co-leading regular cross-ARC national collaborative grant development meetings in coastal health, community mental health and social prescribing, while building research development networks in these areas. We continue to coordinate the ARC implementation leads meeting on a quarterly basis, and we have collated a summary of the national approaches to implementation. If you want to be social with us on our Twitter hashtag, it's @ARC_Northwest Coast, which is in the chat, and you can use the hashtag ARCFEST21, all in capitals, which we will use for all ARCFests throughout the year. So enough rambling from me. We're now going to start with a session from Dr. Shaima Hassan, who is a postdoctoral research associate working with the public in particular, who's offering an insight into new projects that have been suggested to our themes. After that, we'll go straight into a public involvement update from our lead on this, Selena Wallace, and then on into the theme meeting. So thank you for listening. And now over to you, Shaima.